life changes and better things start coming your way. And that's the thing that's what I feel is stifling a lot of people. And that's why they get, down or even depression or something, because they're so used to just doing the same thing all the time, every day, boom, boom, boom. And they don't open their minds to say, let me try something new. Hey guys, I'm Christy Buss, and make sure you subscribe to Lux Media Studios, comment and like, and be sure to hit that bell. Hi guys, Ageless Ambitions on Lux Media Studios. I'm so happy to be here today. I have a special guest who's a dear friend who photographed me. I met him on the red carpet because he's a celebrity photographer as well as a writer. He writes for magazines. He's a digital creator. And I just can't wait for you guys to hear about him because he has a lot of great things to offer in terms of photography and getting into magazines, as well as just being a good guy. There you are, Billy.
Thank you so much for that great introduction. I was trying to figure out who you were talking about, and then I realized, okay, that's me.
You, it's you. And I just wanted to have you on my show. You're a modest guy on a lot of levels, but you have a lot to offer. And we worked together. We did a shoot for me and my skincare line, Keto, and you did a story on me, and it was so beautifully written. I loved it, and I just feel like more people should know more about you so that they could come to you and get their headshots. You do sports, you do food, you do real estate, and you do celebrities. So
Yeah.
tell me how you got started.
Oh, absolutely. So, the long short story is I didn't pick up a camera until almost, yeah, actually, I was done with undergrad school. I had this idea that I was going to be a lifelong poet and
A poet.
um,
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
and play music. So I had lyrics and music and all that kind of stuff going on all the way through college, even though I was majoring in communication. So I was kind of interested in it. Music was such a strong hold. But something happened when I got my first reporting job out of undergrad, and the editor came to me and said, "Hey, you man, you write really good stories, man. You know, you're a really good writer." He said, "But we need you to take pictures." And I was like, "I don't know how to do photography." And so he was like, "Well, if you want to keep your job, I think you should learn." And so it was like a compliment yet challenge at the same time. And so when I got my next paycheck, I went out and got my first film camera
Mhm.
because digital hadn't started yet. It was just getting ready to come in. And so I'm glad I did learn on film because it taught me how to trust my eye and not constantly look down at, did I take a good shot, and I still like film to this day, to be quite honest. From there,
So wait,
everything took off.
so Billy,
Mhm.
first of all, you say you went to undergraduate school. What were you studying? Like what when you grew up, or is it what were you wanting to do? Was it you said you wrote poetry? Did you know that when you were like in grade school, high school, or that? Because that's
Oh,
what
you want
I
you
loved
want you
about
want the poetry story?
what?
Okay, you said okay. So
Yes.
the poetry story was funny because I'm originally from Detroit, but I grew up in Chicago before moving out here. And in Chicago, we used to get these really really bad winters where
Mhm.
we would get a lot of snow. And
Yep.
so
I'm from
one
Missouri.
day,
I get it.
oh, yeah, definitely the Midwest thing. So
Yep.
one day, in English class, my seventh grade teacher told us to write about something that had impact on our lives. And only thing I could think about was the snowstorm because we missed 2 weeks of school because the snow was just that high that year. And I wrote this poem called "The Blizzard." I can't remember what else went with it, but it was something about the blizzard. And she loved it so much until she posted it up in the attendance office. They loved it so much that they posted it all around the school. And so I said, "Oh, this is kind of cool. You know, everybody knows I'm a poet now." So I kind of thought that that was going to be my
I
lane in terms of careers.
I think that's so
And
special, and how, an inspirational teacher made you feel the way you did. And that's the things that are missing. in terms of what's happening now in schools. Everything is just so discombobulated of humanity, humanity
Yeah,
while you're learning, like the things that pull something out of you that make you, impact your life the way it did, and it's
absolutely.
all this crap that's going on. I'm sorry to say the word. It's just so sad that it's about being real, being you were asked to do something and this teacher saw what you have as a gift and that made you mold into the person you are today. And that's something that those stories, that's why you were so important. You're like, "You wanna interview me?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." Because the way you wrote my story was the most fluent, the most impactful words about me and
Wow.
my story of my skincare. And that's what intrigued me more than the photos. I mean, the photos were very nice, of course. You're a very good photographer, but that's so it's from this grade school teacher that impacted your life,
Yeah,
right?
and I didn't realize how much of an impact it was going to have. And full circle, that's what I do now. I teach, so I'm like I'm paying it forward.
Ah, I love that. I love that. So okay, so undergraduate school, you had a job, and so you had to learn how to do photography. So from there, um, so that's a special thing that this guy made you do too. Well, if you wanted to keep your job, you better learn
Yeah,
photography.
it was a threat, but also a challenge. I was still living at home at the time. I had just graduated from college, and I was looking to move out on my own, but I knew I needed a job. So first check I got, I went out and got me a nice souped up camera. I didn't know what to do with it, to be quite honest.
You didn't know what to do with a souped up camera.
No. So I
Yeah.
just let it do whatever I said. Everything was automatic, this, automatic that. And then I ran into a photographer doing one of the press conferences. He said, I noticed your settings are always automatic. Have you tried to do anything manually? And I said, I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm letting the camera. He said, yeah, but is this what you really want to do? Is it what you're seeing is your camera showing you what you're seeing? I said, well, sometimes it's like hit and miss. He says, try starting out with manual and then try to manipulate the creative zones. From there on, all I've used was manual because manual allows me to really tell the story of the photo that I'm trying to capture. From that point on, I went on and started doing weddings. When I would do weddings, there was always somebody who would say, "Hey, do you do family photography?" I didn't, but I said, "Okay, yeah, I do it." I put myself out there. And then, of course, there's always one person in the family who wants to be a model. So they'll say, "Hey, do you do model portfolios?" And I'll say, "Yeah." I didn't know a thing about modeling portfolios, but I went on and started doing some research and things of
Fake
that
it till you
nature.
make it. Fake it till you make it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And now I'm full circle back in magazines again. I'm freelance. I'm doing freelance journalism for freelance photography and journalism for a couple of different publications, like the one you were in.
What's the
And
name of that? We want
I'm
to give it a
teaching.
shout.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Heart of Hollywood magazine.
Art of
Yes.
Hollywood. Okay.
And your art, I'm proud to say that you're still up there. A lot of times they remove them after so long, but I think your piece was just that popular that it's
What's
still
the
up there.
writing? It was how
Yeah.
you wrote it. It was how you
I
wrote
think
it.
they like that picture and that black fit you had on too. It was kind of dope.
Yeah, the
And
picture
your
was good
dog.
too. The picture was
Yeah.
good too, Billy. The picture
Yeah.
was good too. And so, what other magazine? What other magazine?
I've done some things for Sheen. There's another one called Indigo Magazine, which is more of a Chicago-based publication. And I guess you'll be the first to know. I'm actually getting ready to work with a designer who wants to launch her own magazine in January. So we're actually working right now on a prototype, which will probably shut me down from writing for anybody, and I'll be putting all my efforts into that.
Nice. See, things start.
Which means we got to interview you again.
Oh, I wouldn't mind that. I'm interviewing. I love being interviewed. So yes, let's do it. Let's do it. So in terms of, obviously this is a great thing happening for you, and we all like get into like even my crew. They're like on all different levels of doing things, even though they're good engineers and they're good musicians and they sing. But it's all those things wrapped that keeps rising you up to another level of doing other things that you just ageless, and then the ambitions of it. So
Mhm.
we always want to grow as a person, and we always want to keep moving ourselves into a better place to make ourselves look forward to things. And that's even why I did what I did after I ran my dance studio for 28 years, I wanted to do something else. Like I wanted to keep my mind going as well as, be creative in other ways. And so that's something that we all, get into when we start getting a little older and
Yeah,
deciding more things that we can do to fulfill our cup, And so
absolutely.
I see this thing that's going on with you with a new magazine, but what other things are you really looking forward to seeing help you guide you to a different areas of doing things different in your life?
Believing Before Seeing, a new bestseller by Candace Barr. Order your copy today.
I think one of the things that I'm trying to do, obviously being in Los Angeles, it's there's a lot of competition. I'm not the only photographer out here, so a lot of times when it comes to like red carpets or big events, I pretty much have to find out things on my own. The community in Chicago is a little bit more supportive than out here in terms of being able to, hey, guess what? There's an event going on. They need more media. Blah blah blah. I find myself doing a lot of that on my own, and so what I'm trying to do now is really kind of establish relationships with marketing companies, so that the images are not just for me to put in my portfolio or to show on social
Instagram.
media,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
really used to be put in
Their
ads
stuff.
and their stuff exactly. And I got a chance to start working on that this summer. As a matter of fact, I was in Hawaii and happened to do a shoot out there. And the Hyatt Resort that I was at, liked the work so much until they wanted to start seeing if we could start doing some type of partnership where I can kind of like do some of their, their advertising in terms of their pieces. And so that was really exciting because that got me understanding like, okay, if I can get a major, company like Hyatt to see the value, then maybe I can start pitching this other places. So that's kind of where my focus has
You have
been
to kind of
lately.
open your door to be seeing what you have, what you've developed in your career to then open yourself up to see new doors to be open,
Exactly.
right? Right? And
Exactly.
that's not easy to do, but
No.
that's it's not easy. But when you do it, life changes and better things start coming your way. And that's the thing that's what I feel is stifling a lot of people. And that's why they get, down or even depression or something because they're so used to just doing the same thing all the time, every day, boom, boom, boom. They
Routine.
don't
Yeah,
open their minds to say, let me try something new. Let me try something a little different. Even though it's
for
within
sure.
what we sort of know, but then we can keep learning and building from there.
Absolutely. And you think about it, the communications arena is changing ever
Hmm.
so quickly, right? We know
Right.
we don't even use DVDs anymore. And I remember that was the thing. CDs and DVDs. I was like, wow, this is so cool. Stack your DVDs, stack your CDs. Now you don't need them at all. So it's constantly being able to say, okay, what's on the next horizon? So this big thing with AI is coming. A lot of people are nervous because oh, it's going to take over everybody's jobs, so on and so forth. Well, I always say, anytime a new medium comes, if you
Hmm.
notice the mediums that have stayed on, all they do is shift, they pivot. They don't say, okay, we give up, and I think that that's a good challenge for us to stop thinking that every time something new comes on, we have to be so fearful of it or so, oh my
Right.
God, it's gonna do this, it's gonna do that. How about we learn how to make it work with what we're already doing.
Beneficial. Beneficial towards us.
Exactly. And as opposed to looking at it as something that's bad. Everything that happens to us. I'm not saying we have to totally like me, I'm not on every social media platform because I don't see the value of being in it, but I don't knock it down because I do see people who are doing really well at what they're doing. So you just kind of take the good and take the bad and learn how to eat the meat, spit the bones out.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good quote. I like that one. I
I'll
just
get a t-shirt.
yeah, yeah, make a t-shirt and then sell it on your on your Instagram. But no, so seriously, like this was a big deal for me to have you because we all want people to see other people do what they do and how they got there so that if anybody was ever a good writer or something in school and they just didn't know what to do with that, this could be inspirational to them. And I love that because art is comes in so many so many ways. Like if there's dance, if there's music, singing, but art in words, you know, is so cool. And I wish I could write. I really don't write that well. I was never a good writer, but I could dance. So that's what I used myself to express. And that's when I appreciated again when you did your little story on me. So I love it. And I love the fact that we want to keep moving with whatever is going on in our times, like web
Yes.
3. Like web 3, there's going to be no web 2, and web 3 is just more virtual and stuff like that, and you could go inside a store and shop. And that's why all our brick and mortars are going down, but then something else will happen there. Something else will be
They'll be repurposed. They'll be repurposed, and I think people need to understand that we can get really bogged down in tradition, which I totally get because that's part of what we do. But some things can be repurposed to do other things and can be better.
exactly. Tradition is really a good thing, but at the same time, we got to keep moving. Like I have to bring up my mom. She's 89 and she just cannot
Oh
get out
wow,
of like this world. I don't, she's like, I don't know, this isn't the same world. And I said, Mom, everything changes. You got to go with the change. You can't just keep living in things that don't happen anymore. It's really hard for her
hmm
to see that. And like you said, we want to use what the tradition that we have, but then create more from that to bring on better things. Like you said, repurposing. I love that because
yeah,
everything in Hollywood is going to poop, right? Nobody wants to eat, uh, the crappy food that's out there. And so these chains are
that's
not,
right,
they're not staying, but then something maybe better is going to go in there. It just got to
that's
take,
right.
it's got to take a little time. And just to refurbish everything in LA a little bit needs to happen,
Oh my God, yes, LA needs a makeover.
doesn't it? We should get involved with that. Maybe we should write about it.
Hey, I'm down for it
So
for sure.
I so appreciate you being here, Billy. If there's
Thank
anything
you for
else you
having
want to
me.
say or inspire
Um,
my audience, because we're on all the platforms, not just YouTube, and people listen. And the one thing that I love is to make people smile, make people happy, make people, through our griefs, all of us have our ups and downs, but if we can find that the happiness within our grief or move forward in a better light, that's what I love this show to be. So let me know
I
if you
love
want to.
that. I love that. Yeah. Finally, once again, I want to thank you for having me on. I'm normally the person that does what you're doing, so this definitely got me out of my comfort zone. So thank you for that. Also, I just want to encourage anybody that's out there that it's never too late to start. I feel like if you have a date, or you have a moment, or you have this period of time, um, use it and use it intentionally. Go revisit that book that you started writing. Go back to the song that you started putting together, or whatever it might be. I feel like it's never too late to create, and to cultivate what you create. And I'm living proof of it because I feel like I've started over 3 times in my life, and I'm not, considered an old person, so to speak. But I feel like that's the creativity part of me that I felt like was born in 7th grade, and I didn't cultivate it enough, I don't think, until I got out of college. But now you can't stop me. I'm on so many different ideas and plans and things of that nature. And I just want to see everybody maximize their gifts and their potential that they've been given. Because there's nothing worse than being in a position where you say, "I wish it coulda, shoulda, woulda," looking at everybody else saying, "Man, look at them," when you should be looking at you.
I love it. Wow. Maximize your life. Maximize
Yes.
everything that you can do. I love it.
That's right. That's right.
Words of wisdom. Love it. Thank you for being here, Billy. I know I got you out of your comfort zone, but I don't know. I just felt so good to be able to hear what you've done and just, figure it out so that anybody that's watching you can get that same feeling from what you've done in your life that it could help them. So I appreciate
I
it.
appreciate that. And next time I'll make sure I'm in a better lit room. I'm actually at school right now, so I had to kind of scoot over a
You did
little bit to
great.
get
And
somewhere.
we'll do it again and we'll talk about your new venture. How about that?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. Ageless Ambitions on Lux Media Studios. Thank you, Billy, for being here. Check out all my other episodes because one of them is going to inspire you. I hope this one did, and we'll see you next time.